Well, hello everybody, and happy Easter weekend ahead of us. So, as I said recorded my radio show today, that Vacation Views, I said, go to church. This is the one Sunday or Saturday evening you should go to church. Happy Easter. Hey, with that said, this is always so exciting for me to talk about my hosted trips. And the Douro River is one of those trips that I have done before. I've taken a group on there. I've hosted a group, Mimi and I did probably 7 or 8 years ago. I forget. I love river cruising, by the way. My wife, Mimi, and I, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Mark Comfort. My wife, Mimi, and I own Cruise Holidays. So we've owned for 33 years this wonderful company, built it from scratch. We had a lousy first year, a lousy last 2 years, but man, is it coming back strong now. And everything in between the last 2 years and our first year was just fabulous. And so with that said, the river cruise industry is kind of leading the rebirth or the rebound from this pandemic. It's fascinating. It's very, very evident that the American public and frankly the world is wanting smaller, more intimate experiences, meaning these river cruises that have been for the last 12 months, actually about 16 months. They've been cruising in Europe and in different parts of the world, including the United States, and they've proven they can keep people very, very safe. They also have, my goodness gracious, been by their decision, they've not been cruising with a full ship. So 100 persons have been the most there's been on these ships. So my goodness, that's a fabulous situation, because the small size of river cruising has been even smaller in numbers of people by design. Now, as this summer goes on, we will see that they'll get back up to full ship capacities, which is 150 to 164, or for Viking River, 196 to 198 people. They hold a lot more people than AMA Waterways or Avalon. On that subject, we sell all the river cruise lines, and we sell a lot of them. We have specialized in river cruising the last 10 years, actually about the last 12 years, and we've become one of the largest river cruise specialists in the country. We've been on all the different river cruise lines. We've been on all the rivers. So, and I personally have been on all the river cruise lines and all the rivers of Europe, of the world, South Africa, Ganges in India, the Chobe River in South Africa, Amazon River, we've been on them all. So we're here to help you from firsthand experience, and I think that means a lot. This Douro River, by the way, is one of my most, I've been hosting groups for 30 years, and from an expectation point of view, the Douro River has exceeded expectations more maybe than any other river in the world. Ganges River could be maybe an exception to that or a tie to that. Well, the reason why it's exceeded everybody's expectations simply is that very few people know anything about Portugal. Portugal gets lost with all the spectacular countries of Europe, such as Spain and Italy, Germany and Austria and Switzerland and the Netherlands. Gosh, it just does. It gets lost. It gets lost. So we took a big group. Mimi and I took a big group there. We had about a third of the ship. And by the way, on the Douro River, the ships hold fewer people than they do on the Rhine or the Danube or the other rivers in Europe. They only hold 100 to 110 people. Our ship holds 104 people that we'll be on. So that makes it even more intimate. And this river, when we took this group on there, they were some of the best traveled, most well-traveled people we have ever had go with us on a group. And they did so because, like at all groups, people like going on groups because they know there's somebody there to take care of them. They know that there's a host such as myself that knows I have all the contacts, know what to do if there's ever any kind of issues or if there's problems, or somebody help take care of you. The other reason why, very simply, is because they know they will have like-minded people from the same area, and people like that. People like that a lot. Now, in this group, Most everybody will be from the Kansas City area, but because so many people have invited friends and family from all over the United States, we'll have a good group of people outside of the Kansas City and Midwest region. Now, I want to go back. Well, let me just finish my comment. This group of well-traveled people, they all said this Douro River experience exceeded their expectations more than any trip they've been on. Now, that's a major statement for people to make that have been on 30, 40, 50 trips all over the world and cruises specifically. So I think that's what you'll find you'll like best about this. What everybody finds out is, number one, the scenery in Portugal is just spectacular. People don't realize how beautiful the scenery is. And I personally think the best way to see Portugal is on the river, because there's valleys, there's hills, mountains on both sides of you almost the entire way. You'll see that as we go through this PowerPoint presentation. Secondly, is the history. People forget that Portugal ruled the world with their navy and their explorers for a couple hundred years. So, gosh, there's a lot of history there. There was a lot of wealth there. And number three, the culture. You'll be so impressed with the culture, and you're going to get a lot of cultural experiences in this, as well as some of the best wines you'll ever have. It's a huge wine region. Wine is gigantic. 70 to 80% of their GNP is wine related in the businesses, auxiliary businesses like cork production that is primarily made in Portugal. So you learn about all of that. Now I want to tell you how all this got started. Okay, the bottom picture, the bottom of my screen is bottom right, Jeanette Pringer and her husband Kevin. We both live on a nice lake called Weatherby Lake here in Kansas City, and it's a pontoon boat lake. So we met out in the middle of our lake one I think Saturday or Sunday afternoon, doesn't matter. And Jeanette, her family is from Portugal. She was raised in Portugal, went to school in Spain, and went to college in Spain, and then she came back here and got a degree from master's degree, if I remember right, from Park University. So Jeanette, having family in Portugal, wanted to take a group to Portugal. She at that time was board chair for Park University. And Jeanette and I met, we put our pontoon boats together with Mimi and Kevin, and we talked about doing a group. Now this was in 2020. And she was board chair then, and we talked about doing a group in 2021 when she was off, when she got off the board as the chair. And so long story short, pandemic came along. So we had to delay things a little bit. And in that period of time, Shane Smead, the gentleman on the top picture, he became the interim president at Park University. And I've known Shane a long time. He's been involved at Park for quite a while. I was on the board at Park for 10 years. We've got a baseball field that Mimi and I underwrote called Comfort Field at Park University for their baseball team to play on that we're so proud of. And so I've known Shane for a long time. Well, he got named interim president, and 8 days from today, he will be named officially the 18th president, not interim, full-time president of Park University. So Shane, congratulations. So Shane and his wife, Jeanette, and her husband will be host along with myself on this trip. And let me just tell you all about it. By the way, because Portugal is so far south, this time of the year, October 25th through November 1st, is a fabulous time, perfect time to go to Portugal. Weather will be in the 70s, just a perfect time. The other thing is there's a lot of harvest going on. When harvest is going on in wine regions, there's so much energy, and energy brings excitement. So you'll hear about all this. Going back to the river cruise experience, then I'm going to get into the presentation, is that it's all inclusive. If you've never, it's 95% all inclusive. Your lodging, of course, is part of what you pay for. And we'll talk about the types of accommodation, staterooms that will be on river cruise ships. Your meals are included, and the meals are fantastic. And one of the reasons why I've picked AMA Waterways is because I believe their food and their service is the best in the industry. They have almost a 98% satisfaction rate. And man, when there's a problem, we're their 5th largest customer in the world. So when there's a problem, they take care of the problem. So anyway, moving through this, your tours, and you get a choice of 6 to 8 tours at every place that we stop every day, sometimes twice a day. This will be very, very wine and food oriented, this trip, okay? As is every trip to Portugal. They have some of the best wines. Oh my gosh, and a lot of times outside of port that you probably have heard of, you might not have heard of the other wines, so many other wines that you'll get to experience that are great. Wines and beers are included at lunch and dinner. Spirits are not, so you'll have to pay for spirits. That's part of the 5% that you will have to pay for. Or if you want to get a massage or your hair done or something like that on the ship, that's an extra charge. Other than that, everything's paid for. Tours, food, wine and beer at lunch and dinner. Okay, so Shane, anyway, Jeanette and I were talking, we decided to do this. We said, let's raise some money for Park University. Shane was all in. I said, Shane, why don't you go on this? We have enough people, you can go. And your alumni, your donors, your professors, just everybody that's associated with Park might want to go just because you're going to get to know you better. Because, on a vacation, everybody's in their best frame of mind, and it's just a real good chance to sit down, have a cup of coffee or a dinner, whatever it might be, go on a tour with some of these people. And they're all 4 of these people are class people. Really, I'm talking about really class people and fun people to be around. Okay, so there again, AMA Waterways is the river cruise line. Park University is part of the funds that we take in from the cost of your river cruise vacation will be going to Park University. Okay, $100 a person to be exact. And then maybe I will probably donate, we'll probably match that amount and make it a very sizable contribution. Okay, we've got over 40 people already signed up on this now. So let's just go ahead and go through it. Portugal is on the far west side of Spain, as you know, but it doesn't go all the way up to the English Channel. It stops in what would be called northern Spain, and it goes all the way down to the river where Lisbon is. Lisbon would be on the bottom part of this map. Where that purple square is, that's Porto. You see the river that goes all the way through. So Portugal is a long country up and down, but it's a fairly narrow country going crosswise. So we will go on the Douro River starting in Porto all the way across, and then at Vega Terón, we will get off and we will motor coach. Our group will have a private motor coach, and we will go all the way over to Madrid, and we'll see Salamanca, Spain, Toledo, Spain, and Madrid over there. And then if you so like, you'll have a one night, by just the way the air schedules are, you'll spend an extra night in Spain. And those of you that want to spend 2 extra nights to make it 3 nights total can do that. We'll go through this as we go. Well, looking at these places outside of Porto, I bet nobody watching this has even heard of one of those places. If you have heard of one of those places, I'm proud of you. That means you probably went there before. And I probably won't even be able to pronounce all these properly, but I've been through there, I've done it, and I know it's spectacular, okay? So let's go through this. Again, these are the things that we get to do at each stop. You see the stops that we make. Porto's got a UNESCO World Heritage Site area that we will go through. It is called the City of Bridges. Believe it or not, Eiffel, who built the Eiffel Tower, has also built bridges. And one of his most famous bridges is right there in Porto. We'll have a chance to do port wine tasting there. And then, by the way, in all river cruises, you have options of, we call it very active, historical, scenic, or a very, we call it gentle walkers, where you go very slow. The active ones are the hiking and biking that you'll see. And I love this, what they do in almost all the rivers of Europe, because wine and beer were for so many centuries safer to drink than water. So people just grew up drinking wine and beer. So they have wine tasting at all of these biking and hiking things that you get to do. I think it's just great. Going down the list is the local quintas. Quintas are like a small farmhouse that, again, remember I said you're going to get a cultural experience. The stop and having lunch at a local quinta, local small farm ranch type area, you'll be very impressed with. Then we go to cities like Regua, and there are all sorts of historic things to do. That the Holy Staircase, if you're Catholic, you might know about this because it's a pilgrimage place that people go to. Also, if you're a Catholic, and pilgrimages are a big deal, between Porto, where we embark from, and Lisbon, where we will stay as a prepackage, there's a place called Fatima, or Fatima, some people call it, and that is a Catholic pilgrimage place. So going right on down through that, you'll see there's so much that we will get to do. And the local Quinta wine tastings, like I say, that time of the year is perfect for outdoor wine tastings, and to see the history and learn about the culture and feel the culture and experience the culture of Portugal. Well, I'll get through all this as we go through. You'll understand. Then at Vega de Torón, we will disembark. That's right at the Spanish border in Portugal, and that's where we motor coach to Madrid through Salamanca, Toledo, and to Madrid. Okay, so all of these places that we get to see, I told you you're going to get to see the history. And there's not only military history from castles and fortresses like you probably have seen in Germany or Italy or Austria or throughout Europe, same way in Portugal, or Spain, same way in Portugal. So much history. Now, the big deal here, because wine has been such a big deal and they had such a great naval opportunities to ship wine all over the world through the shipping industry. You know, they were some of the best sailors in the world, of course. They were able to ship wine, and they made a lot of money off of wine and port wine over the years. Okay, in Regu, here's that holy staircase. Let's just look at that. And unfortunately, there's 700 stairs there, if I remember. And that doesn't do it any justice because the perception is off so much. But oh, this place is absolutely magical, and wait till you see it. Wait till you see it. And if you want to burn some of the calories off from the great food and the great wine, you'll have a chance to walk. They take us up there by motor coach, although they do give people a chance to walk a bit. But when we're done, we all walk down and we end up in the city that is right in front of this, where they pick us up. Okay, this is in Rigoa. It's just a beautiful place. Okay, here, this picture I just love, because this picture is so representative of what you will see throughout almost your entire journey. Remember when I said the GNP of Portugal is so strongly wine based? There are terraced vineyards because they've been doing this for 1,200, 1,400 years. And the topography is like this all over, so they just learned to terrace wine. And it's just magnificent, absolutely beautiful. But you see this next picture. I love this aerial picture to give you a little bit better idea of the gorgeous mountainous. It'll be green as can be that time of the year. And as you see, the river winds around, and it is a beautiful river to cruise, just a beautiful river to cruise. And by the way, listen to this statistic. So lucky we booked this well over a year ago, because all of these Douro rivers are completely sold out. This one we're on has been sold out for a long, long time. We've got group space on it. We've still got, I think, 6 cabins to sell, something like that, even though we've got 42 or 44 people signed up on this already. But just look at this from that aerial view on the left. Isn't that just gorgeous? And that will be like one of the quintas that we get to go to have lunch and to have wine tastings. Okay, just a beautiful area. Gosh, Portugal is gorgeous. Oh, there we go. Here's a Quinta wine tasting. You'll see it up at the top of one of the mountains where we go to. The vineyards there and the places that we get to see will just, you'll be so impressed. I was, and I've traveled the whole world, 104 countries now, and 16 river cruises, and probably 100 plus ocean cruises, and then 70 all-inclusive resorts across the world. I've had a chance to see a lot, and to be so impressed with Portugal the way I was, and the Ama Waterways River Cruise experience, I can promise you, you will be impressed too. Okay, so you see some of the port wines over there. Some of the wines will get, oh gosh, you're going to have opportunities to taste, experience, and buy if you want some fabulous, fabulous, fabulous wines. Wait till you see some of the distilleries and distribution centers that have more wine than you've ever seen stored up. Okay. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Talking about the lunch at 2 local quintas. I am really hoping the pictures on the left is family style for everybody sitting at the table. And believe me, are they generous with their wine? And if you don't like wine, obviously you get water, soft drinks, beer, whatever you like. But I'll take your wine. Okay, there's all sorts of places like this that are the fortified cities of generations and generations ago, like you would see almost anywhere. This is one of them that we'll get to see that sits up on top of the hill and has had a walled city around it. You can see it's in a little disarray, and then all the city in between, and a cathedral right there on the upper right side overlooking. Look at the view of that. Isn't that just stunning? So, and this is a very, very common sight that we will see all over. Okay. Again, if you're into walking, I do want you to see this picture. I purposely put this picture in there because there's a lot of people that go on vacations. They say, yeah, I think I'll get in shape. We'll do a lot of hiking. Well, some places the hiking is very level. Some places the hiking is very hilly, very up and down. And our cruise manager will help you to know what kind of activity they rate these hikes, and they rate the biking tours based on the ease or the severity of the activities, how great the activity is. But you'll have a chance to do that on every place that we go. Okay. Now, one thing we will do also, and I recommend it so strongly, we will have a 3-night Lisbon pre-cruise package. So remember, our cruise starts on October 25th of this year. And the Lisbon package is where most people, if you're going to come in early, most people will fly to Lisbon. There's a lot more flights into Lisbon. We'll fly out of Madrid, but there's a lot more flights into Lisbon, although there are flights into Porto too. And AMA Waterways will help us with air. If you've got points, we can help you know when you should come in. But I so strongly recommend. I was just in Lisbon literally 14, what day is today? Thursday. 13 days ago. 13 days ago I was in Lisbon, and it is such a great city. We got on an ocean cruise ship there. Silver Seas went from Lisbon to Barcelona. And Lisbon's such a great city. Gosh, and the hotels they stay at are really, really nice. Our dollar is very, very, very strong there. So as you see, the 3-night pre-package, staying in downtown is called Old Town Lisbon, is $900 per person for a double. And that includes the transfers if you use AMA's air from the airport to the hotel. A full day trip, that's 2/3 of a day. That second day out, we'll go to the wonderful city called Sintra, and then we'll always get to see the highlights of Lisbon too. And then it includes the transportation to the ship up in Porto, which is north of Lisbon. Then when we're done, there will be a 3-night Madrid package. Remember, everybody will have to stay 1 night in Madrid. It just works out that way based on when we get there versus when the international air coming back to the United States, those flights leave. So I'd sure recommend, if you can, to stay in Madrid. Great city, also great city. November 1st through the 4th, as you see when the cruise is over. And it too is $900 per person, double occupancy. And we'll be staying at 4.5 to 5-star hotels. Okay, they're tremendous. Breakfast will be included in those too. So let's go through this. Oops. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell everybody. If the Douro River sounds good to you, but spending just 8 nights, or 11 nights is not enough for you, right before this, I will be hosting the river cruise on AMA Waterways, the Gems of Southeast Europe, from Budapest. That picture of Budapest to, to Bucharest. I will be keeping an eye on that. based on what's going on in the Ukraine. But right now, everything's going and everything's just fine. But that's called the Lower Danube. And we do 7 nights on the river cruise, and then we have a 4-night package into Transylvania, which is the beautiful mountainous region of Romania. Okay, and then from Bucharest, we'll fly to Lisbon. So if you are interested in doing what's called a back-to-back, many of us that have already booked have already are doing the back-to-back, doing this one first, October 10th from Budapest, ending up in Bucharest. If you take the 4-night, which I am doing afterwards, it's October 10th through the 21st. Then we fly to Lisbon for the pre-package before we do the Douro River Cruise. Well, let me just run back through things a little bit. So again, if you've never river cruised, all the tours are included, and you get to pick your tours, whichever ones you want. And by the way, on river cruises, it's so easy. They will ask you to try to decide before you go. If you can decide, they just want an idea how many guides, which tours will be most popular, how many guides to get for the tours based on how many people are doing what tour. But if you don't want to, or you want to change, you can change once you get on the ship. Matter of fact, here's how it goes. Every night before we go to dinner, normally, let's just say for sake of discussion here, dinner is at 7 o'clock. And by the way, they're longer dinners. They're more European dinners. They'll last a good hour and a half at least. Longer if you want to, like us. Wine is flowing, beer is flowing, so we normally have a really good time at dinner. But the reality is this: before that, 6 to 7 o'clock, they call it the AMA. I call it the AMA happy hour. They call it AMA hour, and it is everything's free. Spirits are free, so if you do drink spirits, you know, that's the best time to have them right there at the AMA hour. First half of that hour is designed for people just to catch up with other people on what they did during the day, or get to know people, because it's very easy to get to know with 100 people, 50 cabins on the ship. It's very easy to get to know people. And then the second half of that hour, the cruise manager, who will be your best friend, your most important ally, even more so than me, will be telling you all about the options of the different shore excursions the next day. And then you'll get a chance, like I say, maybe you've signed up for a historical one and you'd rather do a scenic one, or you want to do the one that is a combination of history and scenery, or maybe you want one that has more culture in it. You can most certainly change very easily, no extra cost to do that. They make it so easy is what I'm saying. I love, love, love. Oh, one of the reasons why I stopped here on the food too is to tell you, AMA Waterways does such a spectacular job of offering you options of local food from the area that we are in, as well as local wines and beers. Beer is a big deal. And made in the area that we're in, you'll have those options to eat and drink the cultural food from that area. If you're not that adventurous or just don't want to, they will always have what they call the Western options or the American options. So steak, there'll always be steak, chicken, and fish, okay, that will be available. But they'll have big, huge choices from menus. My point to all of that is, gosh, no matter whether you're a light eater, a heavy eater, you just like your meat and potatoes, or you're an adventurous eater and you enjoy eating the cultural foods from the area that we're traveling to, there's something for everybody on AMA Waterways. AMA always gets rated so very, very high with their food quality, preparation, and presentation. They always get rated very, very highly for their staff. Matter of fact, 9 times out of 10, it will be a staff and the service you get that will be your first comment on the comment cards was, how did you enjoy the experience and what were the highlights? And almost everybody will write service was exceptional. Yeah, I found it. I think I've cruised AMA out of my 16 times, maybe 10 times at least, might be more than that, but I've always found their service is exemplary, is fantastic, it makes the whole thing. And haven't you found sometimes that food is better when the service of the people serving you is exceptional? So yeah, you'll be very, very impressed with both the food and service. You'll be very impressed with the tours that we will be doing. And by the way, if you don't want to do a tour, there are a lot of times people have lined up something. When we were on our last Douro River cruise, it was fascinating. There were a lot of people that wanted to go to, oh man, it's Sandeman's wine. They knew Sandeman's wine. The logo is a gentleman with a cape, kind of reminds you of like Superman or Batman, and that's their logo. And oh my gosh, they got so excited about Sandeman, and so they went off to Sandeman's winery, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to do something like that, you most certainly can. If it's not one of the tours that AMA offers you, they'll help set it up for you. There will be a charge to it, but you have that option of doing it if you so desire, or nothing at all. Maybe you want to just go in and shop and see the little quaint towns and villages. In many of these places, there are villages very, very close by. A lot of times what I will do is I'll do the morning tour, and then I will find out from our guide and also from the cruise manager some of the great local, I never do tourists, I want to do local restaurants, and we'll stay in town to have lunch in town. I just seem to like that. I love to watch the culture and see the people. There are many times, because we Americans eat very early compared to the times that the Europeans eat. They normally start at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. They start their 3-hour meals, where we usually start ours 7:30 at the latest, right? At the latest. And we normally go eat 45 minutes to an hour at the most. And, you know, on the ship will be hour and a half. But the reality is, many times when we're done with our dinner on the ship, we can go into town, because the distances between each port is very, very short, maybe 25 miles or something like that, maybe less, maybe a little more. But my point is, the cruise lines can stay longer in port because they don't have very far to go to get to the next port. A lot of times they'll overnight in the port that we end up in. They overnight, and then the next morning, 7 o'clock or something like that, they go 25 miles up the river, and we stop at another port, okay, and get to see what's special about that port. Okay, I wanted to just go back through all these. I love the river cruise experience. You will love the river cruise experience. Again, AMA Waterways has a 98% satisfaction rate. 98%. No vacation segment in anything we do or anything there is available to do for people's vacations comes close to 98% year in, year out satisfaction rate. And I love AMA because they do groups better than any other river cruise lines. There's a lot of river cruise lines that don't like to and don't want groups on their ships. Okay, so there's so much history, so much scenery, so much culture. Okay, so I talked about the ship itself and the accommodations. When you, if you're interested, get a hold of us. We will get you, or it's on our website, cruiseholidayskc.com. Go to our groups page and just look up this Douro River hosted group by me, Jeanette, and Shane, and it will have the options on the ship of the cabins that you want. There are basically 4 types of cabins. There are suites that are on the very, very top deck, and they're all sold out right now. The next step down, there are balcony, and on this ship there are some double balconies. No, they're all French balconies on this one, I'm sorry, that open up floor to ceiling and wall-to-wall French windows, sliding glass doors that you can open up. You can't step out, but you can open up. So that's available on the top deck, which is deck 3, or the next deck down, which is deck 2. And the beauty of these river cruise ships is it doesn't matter whether you're on the port or starboard, and there's no motion. So it doesn't matter whether you're dead center, middle, or whether you're front or back. You know, the ocean cruise ships, we always say, go like this, so try to be in the center of the ship, but not on a river cruise. By the way, if you've ever had motion sickness on an ocean cruise, you will not have motion sickness on a river cruise. We've had hundreds upon hundreds of people that just can't go on ocean cruises anymore, that go on river cruises, and they're perfectly fine. We have so many people that have food or medical situations that they have to watch their diet. You just let us know that, and we can make sure to get you anything you need as far as your what you need diet wise. Okay, I know I use a CPAP. They'll have distilled water for you there for your CPAP if you're one of the people like me that use CPAP. So they're just so accommodating on these river cruise ships. Okay, then the bottom deck, the very lowest deck, it's the lowest price, and the rooms are smaller. They're the smallest rooms, but they're the lowest price rooms too. I think we've got 1 or 2 of those left. A lot of times solo travelers will take those rooms because they work with solo travelers on pricing if you take the bottom deck. If you take the second deck or the third, and that's all there is, the bottom deck, the second deck, and the third deck. Oh, and above the third deck is the sun deck, where we all, as we're cruising during the day or in the evening, if we do that, most everybody goes up to the sun deck because the weather is going to be that time of year very, very accommodating to enjoy the sun deck. And then the bartenders come up to help make sure that we have a great experience. So we will help you. Again, we only have 6 rooms. I think we've got several up on the third deck, and I think 4 on the third deck, or 4 on the second deck, and 2 on the top deck, or 2 on the middle deck. Don't remember. And 1, so we can't have 4. We have 1, I think, still on the bottom deck. We'll just call us. You can ask for myself or Lynette. Lynette is the group coordinator on this group. Or if you work with your vacation advisor will take care of you and help you, match you up with what's best for you, give you the pricing, talk to you about the pre-package and the post-package. Okay, so with that said, I got to tell you, it's I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a tremendous experience. You'll really enjoy Jeanette and Kevin and Shane, and I think his wife is Angela, if I remember right. They're tremendous people. Jeanette's father, she is taking her father, who's from Portugal, and I think she and he are still very, very connected in Portugal. Not promising anything, but there might be some VIP people we meet along the way that Jeanette knows. She's an amazing lady. She's incredibly connected. Okay, you'll have questions about a lot of things. If you do, give us a call. I know we're going to sell out of this. AMA Waterways has already sold out of the rest of the cabins outside of our group, so we're the only people in the country that have space on this ship. And we know all about it. We can help match you up with what's right for you. Okay, we'll take a deposit, and then your final payment. Oh, I forget when that is, but it is, let's just see. Final payment is on June 6th, so got some time. Okay, this is Mark Comfort. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you'll join us on this. One thing you'll like a lot. We've seen it already. So many people are wanting to travel right now. The world is opening up. Policies, our restrictions are getting less and less. Right now, you still have to be vaccinated. I should tell you this to go on this. Will it change before then? I don't know. It might not. But right now, you need to be vaccinated. So we'll make that clear. Okay, that's been an EU agreement that the cruise lines, all the river cruise lines, have agreed to. Whether that changes, we'll see. Masks, will explain what you have to do, and on this, most cases you have to wear masks when you leave your stateroom and until you get to the lounge or to the restaurant or to the sun deck or to your tour. Then as soon as you get off the ship, or as soon as you get to the restaurant, lounge, or sun deck, you can take the mask off. AMA Waterways did a study, and they found out you had to wear a mask 14 minutes per day on average. 14 minutes, that's like nothing for a full 24-hour day. So it's pretty minimal. I've done 4 river cruises during this pandemic time where we were much more restricted with how how much we had to wear the masks, and it did not limit the enjoyment of the experience at all. The one benefit of traveling during this time has been there have been fewer people traveling, so we had better options on air. We had fewer people at the major sites that we saw. We had very good pricing, I would call it, at in the hotels, food, drink, things like that. Now I will tell you this: the prices are going up on this. Boy, in fact, the prices were about 20% higher than the group rate we had before AMA sold out. But this Douro River, the Douro River and the Nile River, are you ready for this? Are the two most popular rivers as far as booking trends. The Douro River in Portugal and the Nile River in Egypt. And there's no doubt why that is. It's because well-traveled people are traveling. They understand the benefits of traveling during this time when there are fewer people traveling. They know prices are going to go up in 2023 and 24 considerably because of the pent-up demand for travel. But anyway, I say all that. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. We will be here, and we look forward to helping you plan whatever kind of vacation you're looking for. I hope it will be this Douro River. I hope it will be this Douro River, maybe even with that Gems of Southeast Europe before this one, to do a back-to-back. Budapest to Bucharest. We fly Bucharest to Lisbon, and then we come home from Madrid. So we can give you one heck of a vacation for basically one air price. Okay, everybody, thanks so much. Again, you know our number, 816. Here it is right behind me, 741-7417, 816-741-7417. Either ask for me, Mark Comfort, your vacation advisor, or Lynette Tolledge, the group coordinator for this. And by the way, I'll put a shameless plug in. For 6 years, I've done a radio show every Saturday morning on 710 KCMO from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., where I talk about what's going on in the world, the restrictions, whether they're loosening up, tightening, the policies different countries have, promotions that all of our vendors have. We'll let you know what people like most about river cruising, or like most about all-inclusive resorts or different places that they travel to, or like most about ocean cruises. So there's truly something for everybody out there, and we want to help you. There's no doubt about it. Right now, it's kind of a risky time to travel, and I know so many people are anxious. I say risky, meaning you have to know the requirements to go to fly to different countries, what the country's requirements are, what the vendor, like in this case, AMA Waterways, requirements are. All these things are very, very important for you to know. And that's what our job is to help take the stress out of it, to make sure everything is done as perfectly as it needs to be sure you have a well-deserved vacation. I have a slogan I use, and I've used for decades, probably 3 decades, and that is our mission statement is we create memories for you that last a lifetime. Our slogan that I use all the time, especially on my radio show, is you deserve a great vacation. But I just got back from the Nile River. We had a full ship charter on the Nile River in February and March. And you know what? I saw something that I knew would happen. I didn't realize it would be as important to every one of our 79 people, is they needed that vacation. It was so fabulous to watch all these anxious people before they left get into vacation mode so quickly. And we all need that. We need to get away from all the negativity and all the stuff. And we need to get back doing the kind of bucket list dream vacations we want to do. So you deserve and need a great vacation, and we will make sure it's stress-free. Thank you, everybody. This is Mark Comfort. Happy Easter weekend. Have a great Easter. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Again, our phone number is 816-741-7417, and our website is cruiseholidayskc.com, cruiseholidayskc.com. If you've got friends that want to watch this webinar, call us, let us know, or email us, and we can send a link. We've recorded this webinar. We can send a link out to them so they can watch this. Thank you, everybody, and I will look forward to seeing you in Lisbon, Portugal, or on the Douro River in late October. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.